Hello everybody. It's the 14th, Valentine's Day, and it's lunchtime. I'm just grabbing a quick bite to eat. Thought I'd make a quick video about something that happened to me over the weekend, from a perspective of alcohol, which obviously this channel is all about. I've been on, it's now 6 months or so since I've stopped drinking, and I've had a number of social engagements with friends and family, and I've not had really too many challenges, in the sense that I've not been sitting there sort of desperate for a drink. I fancied one, but I haven't partaked. I've had some non-alcoholic beers or glasses of water that have just got me through it, so to speak. Not that it was overly difficult, it's just I did fancy one, and on most occasions, which doesn't surprise me because I've had 40 years of drinking sort of on and off, so my brain is wired, if you like, to alcohol. So after 6 months, why would you expect it to be any different? But at the weekend, I went out with a couple of friends. This was male friends, and for the first time ever, I found myself in a situation where both of them know that I don't drink and haven't been drinking for some time, and certainly one of them kept sort of trying to encourage me, or really throughout most of the evening, and I remember that when we got to the pub, he said, "Look, I know, Andy, why don't you just have one, for old time's sake?" And I nearly did, and I thought, no, I don't really need one. I don't really want one. I'll just have a non-alcoholic lager if they've got one, or if not, I'll have some sparkling water. Anyway, so this went on for 2 or 3 rounds, and he kept the conversation seemed to constantly be brought back to the fact that I'm not drinking, and I don't know if that was purposeful or not, but it just felt as though we couldn't move on from that, or at least he couldn't. And I wonder if others have experienced that, where, and I know this person quite well, and I didn't think it would be of any issue for this person. That person's not expressed any issue. I didn't feel any issue, but on this occasion there was one, and it came across to me. I could be misreading this, but it came across to me feeling like he wanted me to drink because he was drinking, not because, and maybe, he's got a wider problem, and it helped justify his own position. That's sort of, I don't know if he has got a wider problem. I don't think he has, but it just came across like that to me. And maybe, I'm finding myself becoming a little more sensitive to those situations. I mean, as I say, it hasn't happened to me before, and I just wonder if I've been oversensitive rather to this situation because I haven't been in it before. I don't know what anybody else that's been on this journey feels like, whether they've got friends or family members that perhaps a little bit more persistent in their sort of approach for you to have a drink. I can honestly say, outside of this one person, it's never happened before. So I suspect it's just a one-off. It's one of those things, and I'll just put it behind me and go on. But it did make me feel a little uncomfortable. Certainly somebody encouraging me wasn't going to make me have a drink. In fact, if anything, somebody saying absolutely nothing probably would have made me more likely to have a drink. But which makes me then think, is it because this person's got an issue with it themselves, and they don't like to think that somebody else is maybe getting a little bit of grip of it? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's the experience I had, and I wanted to share it for the benefit of my own self when I look back at these videos, but also anybody else that may happen to trip into them and look at some of the content, which I hope you'll find useful, and maybe the experience today might be something you've found. You found out, you've experienced yourself, and maybe you're wondering how to deal with it. I just sort of just tried to ignore it, and and I sort of made comments like, well, maybe in the longer term things will change, but right now, I won't. I'm not going to drink. And part of the reason, of one of the mechanisms I found, and this is not that I dreamt this up. This is something that I just sort of came to recognise sort of helped it really, in the sense of somebody said, well, why have you stopped drinking? And rather than saying, well, I think I was drinking a bit too much, I just said, well, I'm trying to lose a bit of weight, and which is actually true. And I felt that alcohol couldn't be part of that journey, but it might be in the future. And I have to say, everybody I've said that to just ignores it, and then we move on. But this occasion, slightly different, bit of an unusual experience, doesn't change anything. But I wanted to just give people that a bit of, I guess, feedback and that insight, because you might find yourself in the same position. I hope you don't, but you might do. So in the meantime, maybe put the drink down. See you soon.